In the quiet moments when the world grows still and the noise of daily life fades away, there exists a profound truth that many discover only after experiencing great loss. It is the moment when a soul awakens to the full magnitude of their actions, when the veil of justification and defensive anger finally lifts, revealing the raw, unfiltered reality of what they have done. Your person has arrived at this sacred crossroads of consciousness, where clarity cuts through confusion like sunlight piercing through storm clouds. The weight of realization has settled upon them with an intensity that transforms everything. They now see with perfect, painful clarity how their words struck you like daggers in the darkness of that final confrontation. Each syllable they hurled in anger has been dissected and examined under the harsh light of retrospection, and what they see horrifies them. The cruelty they unleashed was not just inappropriate, it was devastating. It was the kind of emotional violence that leaves invisible scars, the kind that echoes in the silence long after the shouting has ended. In those heated moments, when rage clouded their judgment and pride became their armor, they may have found ways to rationalize their behavior. Perhaps they told themselves you deserved it, that you had pushed them too far, that their reaction was somehow justified by circumstances or past wounds. But justifications are fragile constructs that crumble under the weight of time and honest reflection. As the fire of anger cooled to ash, as the adrenaline faded and left only the stark reality of what had transpired, all that remained was an overwhelming burden of regret that sits on their chest like a stone. The haunting nature of this regret is relentless. It visits them in the quiet hours before dawn, when the mind is most vulnerable to truth. It accompanies them through their daily routines, casting shadows over simple pleasures and turning mundane moments into reminders of their failure. They find themselves caught in an endless loop of mental torment, replaying that final scene over and over, each repetition bringing fresh waves of shame and self-recrimination. The memory has become a prison of their own making, one where they serve as both the prisoner and the guard. What strikes them most profoundly is not just what they said, but how they said it. They remember the look in your eyes as their words found their mark, the way something beautiful seemed to die in that moment. They recall the exact tone they used, the deliberate cruelty they injected into phrases designed to wound. This wasn't the heat of the moment stumbling over words, this was calculated emotional warfare, and they were the aggressor in a battle they should never have started. The tears they shed now are not just tears of regret, but tears of recognition. They are mourning not only the loss of your connection but the loss of the person they thought they were. The image they had of themselves as someone who would never intentionally cause such pain has been shattered, replaced by the uncomfortable truth that they are capable of inflicting deep wounds on those they claim to love. This recognition is both devastating and necessary. It is the first step on a long journey toward genuine transformation. Life, in its infinite wisdom and sometimes cruel justice, has begun to teach them lessons in the most visceral way possible. The emotional chaos they created in your world has somehow found its way back to their doorstep, multiplied and intensified. They are now experiencing firsthand the kind of mental anguish and emotional instability they once imposed upon you. It's as if the universe has held up a mirror, showing them exactly what they put you through, forcing them to walk in the shoes they made for you. This karmic return is not happening in isolation. Their entire world seems to be crumbling around them, each area of their life presenting new challenges that amplify their emotional turmoil. The family dynamics that once felt manageable have become sources of constant stress. Workplace relationships have grown strained and complicated. The third-party connections they may have once prioritized over your relationship have revealed themselves to be toxic and draining. Every direction they turn seems to lead to another dead end, another source of disappointment or pain. The people and circumstances they once allowed to take precedence over your relationship, the ones they chose when they should have chosen you, have shown their true colors. Those who they thought would be there through thick and thin have proven to be fair-weather companions, present only when times are good, absent when real support is needed. The priorities they defended so fiercely, the obligations they claimed were more important than nurturing your connection, have all turned bitter in their mouth. They are learning what you learned during your darkest hours with them, what it feels like to be emotionally abandoned by those who should provide comfort. They are discovering the particular agony of reaching out for support only to find empty air, of needing understanding and receiving judgment instead. Each day brings new lessons in the curriculum of consequences, and they are failing every test. In the depths of this emotional storm, something profound has begun to emerge. As they sit in the ruins of what they thought was their carefully constructed life, a deeper understanding has started to take root. The grief and reflection have stripped away the superficial layers of attraction and infatuation that they once mistook for love, revealing something much more substantial and rare beneath. They are beginning to understand that what you shared together was never just about the flutter of new romance or the excitement of physical chemistry. What existed between you was a soul-deep recognition, a meeting of spirits that transcends the ordinary boundaries of human connection. It wasn't built on shared interests or convenient compatibility, it was forged in the sacred space where two souls recognized themselves in each other. This realization unfolds like a flower blooming in slow motion, each petal a new understanding of what they lost. They remember now how you saw through their masks and pretenses to the person they truly were underneath. They recall the way you loved not just their strengths but their weaknesses, not just their light but their shadows. In your presence, they experienced a kind of acceptance they had never known before, the rare gift of being completely seen and completely loved at the same time. The emotional safety you provided was like nothing they had experienced in any other relationship. With you, they could lower their guard, speak their truth, show their vulnerabilities without fear of judgment or rejection. You created a sanctuary for their authentic self, a place where they could exist without the exhausting performance of trying to be who they thought others wanted them to be. That kind of emotional refuge is not something that can be replicated or replaced. It is as unique as a fingerprint, as irreplaceable as a work of art. Now they understand why nothing and no one since has been able to fill the void you left behind. They have tried to find substitutes, to distract themselves with new connections and experiences, but everything pales in comparison to what you offered. Other relationships feel shallow, like playing in puddles after swimming in the ocean. Other connections feel forced and artificial compared to the natural, effortless flow of communication you shared. Your absence has become a constant companion, a phantom limb that aches with every movement. In moments that should bring joy, they find themselves thinking of how much better it would be if you were there to share it. In times of difficulty, they instinctively reach for the phone to call you before remembering that they forfeited that right. Even their dreams are haunted by memories of your laughter, your touch, your voice saying their name with a tenderness they may never hear again. What makes this loss even more poignant is their newfound appreciation for your strength and independence. Where once they may have taken your love and presence for granted, treating it as a given rather than the gift it was, they now see clearly the extraordinary nature of what you offered. Your ability to love wholeheartedly while maintaining your own identity, to be supportive without being codependent, to be strong without being cold, these qualities that they failed to fully appreciate before now seem like rare treasures they allowed to slip through their fingers. They are mesmerized by your resilience, by the way you have continued to shine even after everything that happened between you. Your capacity to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward with grace and dignity is not just admirable, it's magnetic. It draws them like a moth to flame, making them want to be worthy of basking in that light again. Your independence, which they may have once seen as challenging or inconvenient, now appears as one of your most attractive qualities. This recognition of your worth has awakened something powerful within them, not just love, but respect, not just desire, but admiration. They want to be better because of you, to rise to the standard they now realize you always deserved. Your strength doesn't intimidate them, it inspires them to find their own. Your ability to thrive without them doesn't make them feel less important, it makes them want to become someone worthy of choosing to be with, rather than someone you need out of desperation or dependency. All of these revelations, all of this painful growth and hard-won wisdom, has crystallized into one overwhelming, urgent desire to make things right with you. But they understand now that this is not a simple task that can be accomplished with a heartfelt apology or a grand romantic gesture. The trust that was broken cannot be mended with words alone, no matter how sincere or eloquent. The wounds that were inflicted will not heal just because they finally understand the damage they caused. What they want now is not just forgiveness, but the chance to prove that the pain was not meaningless, that the lessons were learned, that the person who emerges from this crucible of consequences is fundamentally different from the one who caused such hurt. They want to demonstrate through actions, not just words, that they have grown from their mistakes, that they have done the hard work of looking in the mirror and changing what they saw there.